Hey everyone, how's it going? Title of the video for this week is why reworks are bad. So we're gonna kind of dive deep into it. I'm gonna talk about reworks, new maps, and map buffs. Those are the three big distinctions I'll kind of make here. If you can take the time to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already for this type of content. I make it all exclusive for this channel. And if you leave a comment, I'll do my best to respond to every single one of them. But yeah, I'm KingGeorge, ex-professional player. I won the first Rainbow Six Invitational. If you want to check them out, all my socials are below. I have a second YouTube channel with full games. I have a charm in Rainbow Six if you want to get that. And I stream every day on Twitch pretty much. But yeah, let's hop into the video. So the title of the video is why reworks are bad. And before we dive into this video as well, I wanted to say I am overall happy with how most of the reworks actually play out in Rainbow Six Siege. And, generally over time, even if a map is maybe not well received in the beginning, over time they generally prove to be pretty good and people like them, right? I mean, you could look at, a lot of the different maps. People didn't really like Chalet when it first came out, the rework, Theme Park. These are all maps that have kind of grown on people. Some of them maybe have not been quite as good, or they were kind of a waste of time. Favela. But overall they've been pretty good. But we'll kind of get into that as well. So it doesn't really matter that they're good overall, and I'll explain why. So before we go into this too, I have brought this stuff up to Ubisoft privately before, where I've made it known, like, hey, I don't really like the idea of reworks. I think we should go more in the direction of new maps and stuff like that when they asked me for feedback and stuff like that. So yeah. Also, as well, obviously everyone wants to know my opinion on the new consulate. I always tell people these things are too early to call. It takes a season to 2 seasons to really know if a map is like good or bad. I think it's too early to call. Overall initial impressions, obviously don't take too much from this. People have been complaining about all the small rooms and stuff like that. I kind of like them. I do. The map seems like there's like a lot. It's hard to defend as of right now, really, for me, at least it seems like. Because as an attacker, I feel like you can kind of cut stuff off pretty easily. Like yellow's pretty hard to hold and stuff like that. But once again, these are like really initial early impressions. And like as the meta develops for the map, it will change. Overall, I do think that the reworks are bad. These are really not reworks if you kind of look at them. They're really new maps in total. They're kind of killing the hype of the new season and stuff like that. When you announce that, we've reworked Consulate, well, I mean, that's cool. I mean, that brings a little bit of hype. I guess it's better than nothing. But what's better than that is, we made a new map. And guess what? We based it on a fan favorite, Consulate. Right? Just something like along those types of lines is a lot better. They're actually doing all of the work of essentially creating a new map. I mean, there's basically no resemblance for most of these maps. Like, while they're good, maybe like a room or two will actually be like remain the same, right? I mean, if you look at like Theme Park, it's really just kind of like bunks, sorta, cafe. Like, most of that is not really relevant. I mean, they completely got rid of trains in the middle. You look at Chalet, there's like trophy maybe, snowmobile. I mean, everything else is, maybe big garage. Pretty much everything else is kind of new for the most part, right? Oregon, maybe like dorms, like the kids' bunks. Like, most of the maps are pretty much new. And you could even say, like I said, based on another map. And this way people have an idea of like, I really like that map. It's a new map, but it's based on this one. So I'll have a general idea of kind of what I'm doing, right? I mean, essentially, Ubisoft is putting all of the work in of doing this stuff. Like, they're putting the hard part in, which is actually designing essentially a new map. And the only thing they're really saving on is new art. But they're not even really saving on new art. They're saving on a new art theme. They even really update a lot of the art and stuff inside in the whole theme of like the map. So yeah, I don't really understand the purpose of it. It kind of alienates people. Especially, this is something, it's actually one of the biggest problems that I actually get. So when I'm streaming on Twitch, I'll have people that are like, oh yeah, I haven't played this game in 2 years, 3 years. What have they done with all the maps? I can't believe it. I don't know when I'm playing anymore. I tried to play Oregon, Chalet, all these maps, and I had no idea where I was going. So obviously, if you have somebody who's gone, which is, a lot of people, when you have games as a service, which is what Siege is considered and a lot of other games that are similar, you have people that jump in and out. They'll take 2 seasons off, 3 seasons off, a year off, 2 years off, 3 years off, and, that's a really cool update. I'll come back. Especially if there's a new map. Cough, cough. But yeah, I mean, new maps, like, they create a ton of hype. I don't know if people remember it, but it was like the whole theme of the season, right? Let's look all the way originally to year one, season one, right? With Black Ice. You had Black Ice, there was skin themes based on it. The map was Yacht, which was all frozen. Like it was cool. Like it was Frost and Buck were together. They had these like frosted, these like heavy winter uniforms and stuff like that, and the characters. Right? Like there's this all this like really cool stuff where you kind of like it really pieces the season together like fully. Like right now in this current season, we have a Swedish operator, but then Consulate's getting reworked. It's really just an old map, right? But it's getting reworked, but it's kind of a new map. See what I'm saying? There's like no like continuity here and like things to like piece it together and really make the season feel like a whole. And the season is called Dread Factor, but what does that have to do with Consulate really? Like there's not. I liked it when everything was kind of pieced together. It seemed like it flowed nicely. Just my personal opinion. Also, maps are blocked off from being banned now. I think one of the biggest things that people brought up and stuff on Twitter and stuff like that. So every time that I make one of these videos, I post a tweet and try to get people's feedback. So if you follow me on Twitter, that tweet will generally come on like a Tuesday or normally. But yeah, a lot of players don't want to play the new maps. I don't think that's as much of an issue anymore now that maps are being blocked off from being banned. For a long time, like with Emerald Plains, for example, which is an okay map at best, I would say. But it was, I think, who knows, it could have been more well received. I mean, look at Nighthaven. At first, people didn't really like Nighthaven. They liked the art style of it and stuff like that. Certain people that were open to playing new maps for it, but a lot of like players that I played ranked with, they were like, oh, I can't believe I can't ban it. And those same people now love the map because it takes to give the map having a chance, of being played. But yeah, overall, like I do like, so like I said, there were 3 distinctions, right? There's buffs, reworks, and new maps. I don't like reworks, but I love buffs. So if you look what they did with Bank, Coastline, even like Cafe, I'd kind of consider like a buff and stuff like that too, where the map is generally the same, right? Like if somebody from year 1, season 1 came back and played Bank, yeah, they moved the hatches around and stuff a little bit. There's a couple of like little changes here and there, but they'll pretty much know what they're doing. And that's really good for keeping players that are coming back happy, right? And as well with this kind of stuff, like you could always make a classic playlist as well too. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Make a classic playlist, a casual playlist, unranked, ranked. So this way, if people do want to go back and play the original Hereford base, for example, right, where all that nostalgia was, if you're just getting back in the game, you haven't played the game in 3 years, and you have to jump in and you have to relearn all the mechanics of the game, relearn all these new operators and how the meta is being played now, and relearn new maps, that's a pain. But if you could take that last one out, at least the new maps, and have a general idea of what's going on, at least and where you're going, that's a great start, right? So having that classic playlist for people that are coming back. So Siege has like, whatever. I think there's 90-something million people who have this game or made accounts at least and stuff like that, right? Who bought this game. Whereas, there's still like millions of people who play this game per month, but they're not all consistently playing. That's that 90-something million rotating in and out, right? There's the consistent player base, but there's a good amount of people that jump in and out of the game based on different times. So you want to have a welcoming environment basically when those people come back so they stick around, right? Also, one thing too, I think that new maps should be in Pro League, whether they're reworks, new maps, just in general, they should be in Pro League. People copy and mimic a lot of the things that they see in Pro League, whether they want to admit it or not. I see it all the time in my ranked games. People don't even know why they're doing things. They just copy and mimic what they see professional players do. So pro players currently, at least from my understanding, this is what it used to be back in the day as well, is that pro players get to vote on what map gets put into the Pro League map pool. Back in the day, they basically told us, too bad, it's going to be in there. Like, you're playing the new map, whether you like it or not. That was Yacht, literally, year 1, season 1. So yes, we played Yacht competitively. So obviously now, most of these reworks and stuff are actually pretty good, right? Like they're at least competitive and playable maps. Any map is technically playable, but they've been pretty decent, right? And the thing is, if it's that bad, use your bans, dude. You can ban the map out. A lot of pros do not want new stuff in the game, and they will always vote to not have new stuff in the game because they want to protect their position in Pro League. But yeah, that's kind of everything that I really wanted to cover. Just thank you guys very much, as always, for watching these videos. Like I said, if you can, drop a like, comment, sub. If you try to leave a comment, I'll try to, like I said, respond to pretty much every single one of them. And yeah, Just check the description for my Twitch channel, second YouTube channel, how to get my Rainbow Six charm, and all my other socials and sponsors. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.